Hey, everybody out there in podcast land. It's old buddy Lionel Strang. And this week, today is, let me think. Today is Monday, September the 10th, 2018. When I originally started these podcasts, I wasn't going to date them. But for some reason or other, now that I'm occasionally organized, I've decided to say the date. Don't know why. Can't give you a good reason. I just am. So today, right now, is September 10th, 2018. And we're going to listen to a version of the Kelly Questions, a round of the Kelly Questions, a segment of the Kelly Questions with Jerry Britton, who models the Pennsylvania Railroad. And he lives in Edders, Pennsylvania, which doesn't actually exist, which isn't that far from Harrisburg. And if you want to find out more about Jerry's model railroad, you can go to pamodelrailroads.com. That's www.pa, P as in Paul, A as in Andy. I wonder what the actual, what do they call that thing, where you, A as in Acme, A as in almost. Anyways, it's pamodelrailroads.com. Go there and you'll find a link to Jerry's railroad, and you'll also find a link to 9 other real cool model railroads in the pamodelrailroads.com. Jeff Warner, Larry Reynolds, Steve Mallory, and on it goes. Okay, that's enough talking for the start of this. It's Jerry Britton and the Kelly Questions. Subway chime. Go. Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Lionel.
Jerry, hey, guess what?
Hey, what?
This is Jerry Britton. I'm speaking with the one and only Jerry Britton of, where do you live?
I'm in a little hole in the wall called Edders, Pennsylvania. I'm about halfway between Harrisburg and York.
Is that Edders?
Etters.
Ah, I was so close.
Yeah, and not far from Hershey, the land of chocolate.
Not far from Hershey. How far from Hershey are you?
About 40 minutes, maybe.
All right. So, yeah, okay. And where'd you say it was halfway between here and where?
Here and there.
Yeah.
Harrisburg and York.
Oh, Harrisburg and York. I know York is where they have a Harley-Davidson factory.
Oh, yeah.
And
I can get there in about 10 minutes.
And is Harrisburg the state capital?
It is.
Wow. I pulled that one out of the air.
Yep.
That's not bad.
And we're all in the general area of 3 Mile Island.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's 5 miles from me.
How long have you lived there?
Born and raised whole life around Harrisburg, except while I was at college.
Okay, so you've been born and raised around 3 Mile Island.
Yeah, that's why I'm 8 feet tall. And I don't need electricity for my model railroad.
So, did it affect the people around? Let's give everybody, because not everybody. We have Shane the Young Gun, who will maybe have heard of 3 Mile Island. But what year was that 3 Mile Island happened?
Let's see, March. Pretty sure it was 79. It might have been 78, but it was one of those two.
So a long time ago. See, I don't even remember. Yeah. I don't even remember it being that long ago.
Yeah, 40 years.
Wow, 40 years ago. And were there after effects?
It's hard to say. There definitely are increased numbers of cancers east of the plant, but they've never able to firmly attribute them to the accident.
Okay, but something's not right.
Yeah, something's not right. Now I lived north of the plant, so I was upwind, and now I'm directly west.
Okay, and so upwind was okay, east was not so good.
Yeah, east and southeast not so good.
All right. Okay, so tonight we were going to have Bruce the Mailboy join us, but his 1,000-year-old computer, he has to change the hamsters. He's kind of like the 1,000-year-old man from Mel Brooks. So
either that or the rubber band broke. I don't know.
Exactly, but you sound. You know what? This is the first. You and I have actually only ever been talking to each other we made our first voice audio contact for the first time in our lives approximately 20 minutes ago. Is that right? Yeah, 20 minutes ago. So we've never, ever talked like this, ever. We've messaged back and forth, but we've never had this kind of contact. And you sound like a fun guy. So I said, while Bruce tries to get his 1,000-year-old computer going, why don't we do the Kelly questions by ourselves? So that's what's happening. It's you and me. So we are doing it. Usually there's a third man. So I will be completely responsible for. I will be completely responsible for the scores. I will be completely responsible for entertaining the vast viewing audience of the AML network. And you will be completely responsible for providing lots and lots of interesting facts to keep the audience entertained. Do you feel any pressure?
I'm sweating because I really wasn't expecting this. I didn't study, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do when you get to the end, and I have to pick Lionel, or Lionel for the
Yeah,
island question.
exactly. I'll help you out there. I'll help you out. We'll come up with something. All right, so we're going to start right off. We'll dive right into them. Because tonight we're doing an interview with you, but for a change, we're doing the Kelly questions first. So which do you prefer, steam or diesel?
I'm going to go with diesel, but I'm an early diesel person. I'm model transition era.
Right, so that's my favorite diesel, too. And how old are you, Jerry? How old of a man
Uh,
are you?
I'll be 55 in November.
Oh, you're a fine-looking gentleman for 55. uh, hmm. So I got first generation diesel is me too, and Shane the Young Gun. I was asking him the other night, and he was like all excited because he says he likes the '90s stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like everybody models something that's from their earliest time on the planet. Not everybody, that's not true, but it seems like a lot of people do. They go back to where life just started for them, and that's what they're interested in.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I got hooked on Pensy early. Now, I didn't actually see the Pensy run. But, if I were starting over and didn't have the background with the Pensy and all that, I love the intermodal stuff that ran in the 90s. When you had the road railers, and which they're not really using much anymore. And I just love all the intermodal stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so this next question might be kind of a toughie for you. What's your favorite prototype railroad?
Oh, Pennsylvania Railroad.
There you go. You have a fantastic website that people can get to by going to penzyrr.com. How long ago did you obtain that domain name?
We're coming up on 20 years.
I was going to say, that would seem to me like it would have been a pretty popular domain name.
Well, Pennsylvania Railroad was actually taken, although it was never developed, and PRR.com is another commercial venture totally unrelated to trains. So I had to come up with something. So it's not perfect, but, it works.
Pretty darn close to perfect. Everybody knows Pennsylvania Railroad is a Pennsy. And then you go
Yeah.
RR.com. That's perfect. I love it. If you were rail fanning, would you rather photograph the trains or ride on them?
Interesting you asked that, because I was just thinking about that yesterday when I was listening to one of your other podcasts. I think I'd rather photograph unless I were in the cab. So if I were, you're generically saying riding. If I'm riding as a passenger in a coach, nah, I want to be trackside.
We have a message from Bruce. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is.
Oh, there we go.
He came in.
It's magic. It's magic.
You came in. We started the Kelly questions. Where were you?
Not there.
Well, where were you? Were you downstairs? Were you sharpening your skates?
Yes, I was. So I'd be able to flash down the ice with the greatest of ease.
There you go. Okay, so we were just talking to we started the Kelly questions because you were working on your 1,000-year-old computer, which reminded me. I said to Jerry, it reminds me of Mel Brooks and the 1,000-year-old man.
Oh yes.
So now I'm kind of thinking we should try to keep that computer.
Perfect.
And so we only got as far as the third question, and I was just about to tell a story.
Yes.
As I have a tendency to do.
We have noticed that on occasion this happens.
Yes, and he said he prefers to photograph the train's trackside unless he's riding in the cab, which took me to my story of Otto Von Drack, who works for I think it's the Genesee Valley, or is a volunteer at the Genesee Valley Railroad Museum. I think that's what it's called.
I think that's what it is.
And I believe I have a standing invitation to ride in the cab of their fall train special, which they run on the Avon Lake Railroad. And Rick Rubio, who's the guy that's in charge of the railroad, lets me ride along in the cab. So I agree with you 100. The point of the whole thing, Jerry, is I agree with you 100%. When you get to ride in the cab, that kind of makes the decision really easy.
Yeah, it's a different view.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was we went a long ways to get to that, didn't we?
It's all quality stuff. It's all quality stuff.
I'm sorry, Jerry, what did you say?
I said we blew the time budget on that one.
Yeah, we sure did. Holy moly. We passed it. It was a shorthand. We had a shorthanded situation, and we kept passing the puck around.
There you go.
23 minutes. We got 3 questions in it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like a record.
It actually is. On the Kelly questions, it's been 11 minutes. We got 3 questions. Okay. 3 questions, so we're going at an unbelievable pace. What was your first model train?
Got a Christmas tree special, HO scale, when I was probably, I'm going to guess, around 5 or 6. And it was a Reading. I think it was a Jeep of some sort, like a Jeep 30 maybe, Mantua.
Right.
Not sure. I lost that one early on. It took a nosedive off the edge of the layout and died a horrible death.
Oh, there you go. See, some people have their original trains, and I'd say half the people have them, and I don't have any of my stuff, which I probably would like to, but I think my dad actually sold it to George's Trains when we got HO stuff. Now that that's the first time I remembered that. Yes, I believe that's where it is. George's Trains got it when we switched to HO. Next question is, are you still there, Bruce?
I am here.
All right. What's your favorite model railroad scale?
HO.
True or false? Is N scale dead?
It is not.
No, it's not. But
I'll qualify. I was in N scale for 8 years until 2008. And there's some amazing work going on out there in N scale. And for a time, I actually had a business on the side selling stuff, and it was about 40% N scale.
Oh, really, eh?
Yeah, I was surprised.
We'll have to talk about that in your interview. Okay. N scale's not so much dead as it's just lost in the hobby. Would that be a fair statement? I say it anyways, whether you agree with me or not.
Okay.
This will go towards points later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now we're back to having. I was explaining to Jerry that I was gonna have to do the point system and everything by myself. But now that you're in, I'll have to fill you in on the first 3 questions. He chose diesel.
Yes.
His favorite prototype railroad is Pennsylvania Railroad.
Yes.
And we already covered how he would rather
cab.
rail.
Yes. Okay.
Cab.
We're all up to speed.
Yep. What's your favorite model railroad, Jerry?
You mean in terms of somebody's layout?
The question here, I'll read you the question again in case I didn't get it.
Pennsylvania Railroad.
No, but what's your favorite model railroad? It's a 3-word question. It's a 4-word question. I guess it's a 5. How many words is it? What is your? It's a 6-word question.
Whichever one's in front of me at the time.
Oh, really?
Now, I take inspiration from a lot of other people's work, not just in the finished product, but I love to dive in and see how a layout is put together, the bench work. I'm a prototype modeler, so I like to see how people figured out ways to model it with fidelity. So like Tom Jacobs, 0013, doing a great job with the Reading, Ken McCory with the big Pensy layout. There's a lot of them out there, and I love to delve into what the mindset was as the plan was developed.
Have you ever been to Tom Jacobs' place yet?
I have not. I've followed it closely. I've only met Tom in person a couple of times, but I actually had the opportunity to review his track plan before he started.
What's he like in person? I've never met him in person.
Nice guy, extremely knowledgeable. Interesting the way we met. I've been doing a website for about 20 years, and I just switched to a new framework of software behind it. And I just happened to notice he does a Reading site and was in the same software. And I first approached him only because we were using the same software, not because he was Reading or near me or anything like that. And we kind of hit it off from there.
And does he seem to be able to coordinate his wardrobe?
Well, that spy stuff, half the time you can't see him.
Good answer. Okay, how about this question? Who's the most influential model railroader for you?
Oh, I told you I didn't study.
Mm.
Wow. Well, I told you I didn't study.
Yeah.
Man,
Well,
can I pass?
I'll help you. Mine is Alan McClellan. He's my most influential model railroader. Bruce, who's your most influential model railroader?
I would put Mr. McClellan high up there on his list because he had a great layout, but then also likes of excuse me.
You get choked up. Just think of
He
it.
is, man. It's like,
I know what I would see. Here's what I would.
Frank Ellison and John Allen.
so let me throw this out because you kind of stirred up some thoughts. When I was younger, I got model railroader, but I did not get RMC.
Right.
And I believe the original McClellan articles were all in RMC. Is that right?
They were.
That is correct.
Yeah. So I didn't have the exposure at an early age. I certainly appreciated his stuff later. But the one that was in MR that really got me interested in operations was Bruce Chubb.
Yes.
There you go.
They did a whole series on the Sunset Valley back in the 70s.
So let me try again. Who is your most influential model railroader?
Let me think about this a second.
Okay.
Bruce Chubb.
There you go.
Hey,
did you guys notice my interviewing skills there?
I did.
I said who mine was, and then I talked to Bruce, and he got it, and then Jerry
Worked.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like driving an old car, and you got to pull the choke out just a hair to get up the hill. Bruce, you kind of threw me a bit because I thought for sure you were going to say John Armstrong.
Well, his layout. I never seen it. I wish, but of course he was the master of track plan design and things like that. And unfortunately, there wasn't really a lot written about his home layout. There's a few articles in MR, but he's certainly well known for all his track planning skills.
All right, Jerry. Here's another question for you. Select one of the following as your favorite: bench work, track work, scenery, or electrical.
I'm going to say scenery, with the exception of ballast. When I first started building my current layout, my previous one never got to scenery, but when I started building the current one, I was kind of dreading the scenery because I thought that, how am I going to make it look as good as some of these others? But man, you go on YouTube, there are videos tell you how to stain rock slides and stuff like that, and you can't mess it up.
No, you can't. And ballast I love doing ballast until I get to turnouts, and I have yet. I never mastered getting around the the points on a turnout.
Yeah.
I got it to a point where it was passable, kind of like my soldering skills, soldering skills. But everything else I got, but that's right around the points. I never really got good at it. Okay, so we got that. So scenery with and you would prefer you leave ballast till last?
No, I do sections at a time. I don't want to have it all mundane at the end.
Right, exactly. Okay. Next question. Where do you buy? Oh, this is my favorite question. If you gave somebody starting out in the hobby just one item and cost was no object, what would it be?
I think it would be a DCC system because that's a very costly hurdle to get into it.
Right, and any particular one?
Either Digitrax or NCE. I think they're both equivalent. I use Digitrax, but I always tell people go with what's in your area. If you have an operating group, everybody can bring their own throttle and it works.
Yeah, that's something that's I'm sure it's unique to other hobbies, but It's become unique to model railroading. If everybody in the area is Digitrax, everybody gets Digitrax. If everybody in the area
Yeah.
is NCE, then everybody gets NCE.
Yep.
Where do you buy most of your model railroad supplies?
Generically online. I had one particular provider in New York that I was my go-to person for most of my locomotives, but they retired. So um, I actually switched last year. I'm getting some of it from Factory Direct and some from MB Kleins.
Okay. Factory Direct? I don't know if I've heard of Factory Direct. Have you, Bruce?
No.
So there.
Factory Direct trains. It's actually it's a relative brother-in-law, something or other, to one of the people at Broadway Limited Imports, but they uh, have consistently good prices on the Broadway line because I think they're connected at the back door or something like that. But they also do Athern and Intermountain.
Okay.
They might do Walders.
That's, I guess you haven't had any need to do scaletrains.com yet, have you? Because, I don't know. So what era is your layout?
Early 50s.
Okay, yeah. That's right. Transition era. I believe we had
Yeah.
this discussion already.
Yeah.
Was I there? I'm in a bit of a kerfuffle because it was hard getting Bruce going, but it seems to have worked perfectly now. So I apologize to both you gentlemen if I appear to be in a bit of a kerfuffle.
Well, it's that bait and switch. Come on for an interview, and then you hate Kelly questions. It's like,
Exactly. And are you still there, Bruce? You're awfully quiet.
No, I'm here.
Okay. I
I
thought
just don't want to jinx anything.
well,
I'm trying to appease the electron gods.
well, if you're just not going to talk, then you might as well just leave.
Okay, see you later.
Don't do that. You add to the show. Everybody loves Bruce the Mail Boy. But
I was just looking at Googling factory direct trains, and
there you go.
they got lots of stuff.
You see
Yeah.
that's what was happening. Bruce was busy working the Google on the internet machine. And again, we have silence.
I like the fact you can search your website for prices between $1,000 and $5,000.
Really?
Hit me again.
And clicking just for the fun of it.
Well, there's a lot of people that spend a lot of money in this hobby.
No matching products were found.
Oh, no matching products, huh? Well, then they need to go to the Coach Yard because he has all kinds of products for $5,000.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, let's move along here. Let's see, 22 minutes, and we're about halfway through. Let's see, select one of the following, where you buy most of your railroad supplies. Favorite train event of the year, model or prototype?
Favorite train event? Pennsylvania Railroad Technical and Historical Society annual meeting.
Okay, and where would does it move around, or is it always held in the same place?
No, it moves around. The Pennsy that had their headquarters at Philadelphia, so we got a lot of retirees in that area. But we found that Harrisburg, right here where I am, kind of is within like 400 miles of over half the membership, so it's easy to get to. So we do Harrisburg area generally every other year, but other than that, it can float anywhere in the former Pennsy system.
Okay.
But it's up to a 4-day event now.
Really?
Wow.
4-day event. We have a vendor room that normally has like 120 tables, and it's all Pennsy stuff. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And how many members? Any idea of how many members are in this society?
About 2,700 all over the globe.
Wow, that's a big
That's
number.
pretty good.
That's a big number.
We've got about a dozen local chapters that have their own events throughout the year. We have one right here in York near me.
I know I continually say this, Jerry, and I apologize to everybody for continually repeating the same thing, but I am convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that this hobby is growing. I'm convinced that this hobby is growing. I'm convinced, and whatever anybody else says, they're misinformed as far as I'm concerned. And the average age is not 68. Bruce, I was today.
I'm below average.
I was listening to our interview with Charlie Getz and Christina Zambri and Gordy.
Oh, yes.
That one we did some time ago now. I was listening to that. I was listening to that when I was flying on the plane today, and he kept referring to the average age as being 68, and I don't think that's even close. I don't think that's even close.
It may be the average age of the NMRA membership
That
because they've driven away so many of the young people. And just a parallel to that, I do a big survey every year of Pensy modelers, and the Pensy modelers, 50% of them now are age 50 or older.
okay. So but 50% of them are age 50 and younger.
Yeah, but the biggest chunk is in their 40s.
Yeah, but you know what? I think everybody. Like, when did you start model railroading?
When I was 6.
Exactly. Everybody that's a model railroader started when they were younger. Pretty much everybody I've ever interviewed says the same thing. They started as a kid. So, again, we got Shane the young got 19. He's into it. Like, yeah, if you like trains, you like trains.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. What, regular beer or light beer?
I normally go light for a reason. I'm a diabetic, and if I drink too many regular beers, I fall asleep.
Oh, really? That's what
Yeah, yeah,
because what's in the regular beer that puts you to sleep?
yeah. Now, oddly, I can drink a Southern Comfort Manhattan all night, and I'm fine. But
Oh,
drink regular beer, have a couple of those, and it's. I'm going to take a little nap now.
and what's that got to do with the diabetes? Pardon my ignorance, but that's what
It,
that's what the podcast is all about. Is me asking.
that's right. It's
So,
educational.
yeah.
It's something about the sugar content and stuff. The low cal beers don't have the same effect.
And what's in
But
this? Okay, what's in a Southern Comfort Manhattan?
well, traditional Manhattan is a whiskey with sweet vermouth. The Southern Comfort Manhattan is Southern Comfort, which is a type of whiskey, sweet whiskey, and you mix it with dry vermouth and a little bit of cherry juice.
Wow, that sounds good. Maybe we should
But
make.
it's all alcohol. It's
Well,
go figure.
go figure. Maybe we should make that the official drink of the AML network.
I'm thinking I should go buy some Southern Comfort tomorrow and try this out.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly. I feel like there's more I should say about that, but I can't really think of it. Salty or sweet?
Salty.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
Do you have one?
I do.
That's right.
And
We keep seeing a picture of them on your layout.
no, cat's not allowed in the basement.
All right. I thought you had posted a picture of him once or twice on the layout.
That wasn't mine.
Okay. Um, what's his name? Eddie?
The cat?
Yeah.
Misty.
Misty?
Misty May.
Misty May. Okay. How did it end up with the name Misty? That sounds like your wife's handiwork.
No, I don't know. I wanted to go with Socks because it's a gray cat that has these solid white paws.
Right.
And the two kids said, "No way." We're bouncing back and forth, and then they had those women volleyball players on Misty May.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how I got the name, Misty May.
What you should do is start calling one of your kids Socks, because they're probably always wearing them. That'd be a great name. Name your kids Socks. Come here, Socks. Geez, why didn't I think of that? Coke or Pepsi?
If it's cold, Coke. If it's been sitting out, Pepsi.
Well, that's an interesting answer.
That's the first time we've heard that answer.
Yeah.
Yep.
If it's cold, Coke. If it's been sitting out, Pepsi.
Yep.
All right. Can you give us any indication of why that may be?
Back in the 1970s, my parents had a boat on the Chesapeake Bay, and by the end of the weekend, the cooler full of drinks the ice had kind of like drained out, and the Coke just didn't taste as good.
Oh, okay. Then you go
But when I was in college, my fraternity had a saying though: "Better warm beer than Pepsi."
That could be the motto. That could be the motto of the AML network.
Yeah, better warm beer than Pepsi.
Your favorite hot dog condiments or condiments?
Mustard.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else, or are you just strictly a mustard guy?
I like chopped onion on it.
Okay. All right. What if somebody gave you a hot dog with ketchup on it?
I'd still eat it.
Oh,
Attaboy.
I'm not sure.
I grew up on ketchup, and then for years watched the Food Network, and I was amazed that all these people said, "You don't eat ketchup on a hot dog. It's mustard." Nah,
Okay.
somewhere I changed.
Have you ever been bungee jumping?
No.
That's a good idea. If you were a beer can, what size would you be?
Pounder.
Pounder. Somehow I got a feeling in college that's exactly what you were when it came to beer. A pounder.
Yeah, we bought it by the keg.
Yeah. Someday, Bruce. Someday I should
Yes.
relay my story of going to the football game with my friend and his limousine bus and
Oh yes,
25
that's
people
that's a great story.
and the pallet of beer. um, all right. How many? For some reason or other tonight, I can't see the questions, and I don't know why. I find you. I think Jerry's an
Your
intro.
eyes are closed.
No, yeah, my eyes are
Too
closed.
many beers?
Too many beers. How?
Too much warm Pepsi.
Yeah. How many pairs of shoes do you have?
Uh, 4.
Okay, can you describe them to us?
Pair of sneakers, pair of casual, dress black, and dress brown.
There you go. So you've only got one pair of sneakers going at a time.
Yeah.
You don't have like I have 2 pairs. I got the kicking around the yard work sneakers and the dress sneakers.
Nah.
No, stick really one pair.
Yep.
Have you ever solved a Rubik's cube?
Oh yeah.
How many times?
When I was a teenager, I could do it all the time.
Wow, I can never do it. I never could do it. If you
I
were
can still do 2 layers.
really,
Yeah.
I can't even do 2 squares. If, if you were a superhero, what sort of powers would you have?
Time travel.
Time travel. I say,
Go back train watching.
You go back train watching. Wow, that's actually a good answer, Bruce.
It is.
That's an excellent answer. What would your costume look like?
Oh man. God, I have no idea.
Well, I can tell you it would probably involve spandex
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
or tights.
Yeah, don't want to go there.
I was listening to another Kelly questions that I was editing, and we got onto the discussion of why is it that superheroes wear tights? Because generally men wouldn't be caught dead in tights. They wear tights and their underwear on the outside with a cape. I mean, seriously, if you were walking down the street, the main drag in any town in America, and you saw a guy coming towards you in tights with his underwear on the outside and a cape, you'd probably be calling the police.
Yeah, I'm guessing if I'm going to time travel back to the 50s a lot, I probably want to go with coveralls and a flannel shirt.
Yeah, only in spandex. That's what it'd be. Your outfit would be a gray spandex with coveralls and a flannel shirt painted on it. That's
I
it.
don't even want to think about that.
And a blue cape and a gold belt. Would you have a mask?
Uh,
Have you looked in the mirror?
That's pretty scary. I better get a mask.
And he walked right into that one. All right. I apologize. That was rude, and I apologize.
Oh, I'd expect it.
Okay. Have you ever had a brush with the law?
I work for the law.
You work for the law, or you did, or you do?
I do.
Well, what do you do with the law?
I'm a civilian employee, but I am the Chief Information Security Officer for the Pennsylvania State Police.
Wow.
So I keep the riffraff out of our network.
Okay, so whatever you see under my name, it was a setup.
And I can't fix your tickets.
Have you even tried? Come on, have you even tried?
Absolutely not.
All right. Well, it doesn't matter anyways. I always observe the speed limit.
Yeah. I understand the meaning of observe.
Well, you take it any way you want. That's what I'm saying. I always observe the speed limit. Have you ever been on TV?
Yes.
In what capacity?
When I was a kid, I took a summer educational program down at the State Museum in Harrisburg, and when our program was over, we were waiting for pickup. There was some kind of a event going on in their main gallery, and I went over and sat down on a bench. And here they were introducing the new Miss Pennsylvania, and I sat down right next to her parents. So I was on the news right next to her parents.
So if you ever want to get on, the moral of the story is if you ever want to be on TV, sit right beside the beauty pageant queen.
I didn't know what dumb kid.
Yeah, okay. Who's your best friend?
Lionel.
Nah.
I do different activities with different people. Actually, no, I got the right answer to that. My best friend absolutely is my wife, Michelle.
Okay, that's an excellent answer. And say hi to Michelle for me.
And that'd be Michelle with one L.
Michelle with one L. And how long have you guys been married?
Just over 30 years.
And okay, let me ask you this question because we have a couple of guys in Green Bay that aren't the sharpest knives in the drawer. I don't want
Oh, you know what? I just caught up on some of my podcasts. I know where you're going. Yeah, when they say don't get a gift, get the flowers. See, I listen, don't I?
Yeah. And
Uh-huh.
I'm not mentioning who these guys are, but their names are Luke Lemons and Mike Ostertag. I mean, these guys, I'm telling you, these guys, seriously. I mean, seriously, the lights are on, but nobody's home.
The wife does all the laundry and all that good stuff. I do the grocery shopping every week.
Oh, do you?
And I do. And every single week for the past, I don't know, I started about 6 years ago, I pick up a bouquet of flowers for her.
Wow.
Yep. Every week.
Perfect. How tough is that?
It's not.
Exactly. Did you hear that, Mike? Come on, Mike. Luke, come on, you guys. All right. Next question is, what's your favorite snack when you do the grocery shopping?
My favorite snack. I like the crunchies, so sometimes I buy nuts, sometimes it's chips, stuff like that.
Favorite kind of chip?
Lay's cheddar potato chips.
Wow. See how, Bruce, you see how in-depth these Kelly questions are?
They are. It's like hard-hitting journalism.
It's like you start out with a blank. It's like being an artist. You start out with a blank canvas, and by the time you get to the end of the Kelly questions, you've created a piece of art that everybody can sit back and enjoy.
Exactly.
I can't believe I just came up with that.
That's a beauty. Write that one down.
Yeah, I'm going to write that one down. You know what I ought to do is record it.
Yeah, that'd be a better idea.
You didn't push record tonight?
Yeah. What for? Why, do you think you're interesting? I'm just kidding. Yeah. What is your favorite? You know what? A rim shot should be in there. Note to self. What's
Yes.
your favorite zoo animal?
Favorite zoo animal. Red panda.
Red panda?
All right.
I get that from my son. He's the one that found it. They're really cool.
Red panda? I've never seen a red panda. Is there such a thing?
They don't look. They're not like panda bears. They're I don't know what family they're in.
They look like raccoons.
Yeah, they do. They look more like a raccoon.
Okay, so your favorite zoo animal is a raccoon.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you prefer baseball or hockey?
Hockey.
If you could choose just one professional sports team to root for, would it be the Detroit Tigers or the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Maple Leafs.
Attaboy. And what's your favorite hockey team? Let me guess. Broad Street Bullies.
Yeah, I'd have to pick the Flyers. I mean, I don't watch a lot of hockey, to be honest. But when they're doing okay, I basically don't watch any hockey until the second season starts in June, you know?
Exactly.
But I do want to mention real quick, I've only ever been to one professional hockey game, and it was a doozy. I was at the Madison Square Garden for the very last game of the Great One.
Oh, really?
Wow.
I was. We were meeting friends from college in King of Prussia outside of Philly the night before the game, and we're sitting in this restaurant, sports bar, and up on the TV comes these highlights mentioning it's Gretzky's last game coming up the next night, and I'm like, oh man, I can't believe it's his last game. And they just casually said, do you want to go? And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
And they're like, we have an extra ticket. It's in a box. I'm like, hell yeah. So my wife is like, what the hell just happened here?
So she did.
Yeah,
she didn't get to go.
She didn't get to go. They only had one extra ticket.
Oh my goodness gracious!
And it was her friends from college.
Okay, so it's ever since then you've been buying the flowers once a week.
Yeah, there you go. So
I knew there was a tie-in.
Yeah,
I was at Gretzky's last game.
And oddly enough, Michelle has not talked to you since.
Yeah.
If you were stranded on a desert island with just one person, would you prefer it to be with Bruce the mail boy or Lionel the annoying guy?
I got to go with Lionel, the annoying guy. It would give me the incentive to get the hell off the island.
That's not a bad answer.
Hey, that scores high on that one.
That question's kind of like the old Kobayashi Maru from Star Trek. It's the no-win situation.
Yeah.
Kobayashi Maru, who's that?
Yeah, if you watch all the Star Trek movies, you get it.
All right. Well, I always called him Ensign Ricky, so.
And Ricky.
Who's Kobayashi Maru?
It was the name of a scenario that they used in training before you became a captain, and it was a no-win scenario. They just wanted to see how you fared, and the original Captain Kirk went in and fixed the computer so it would allow him to win.
So, do you know how to spell that?
Hell no.
Kobayashi Maku? Kobayashi Maku?
Maru. M-A-R-U.
M-A-R-U. I got to find out about that.
Yeah.
Kobayashi Maru.
I'm sure it's on Wikipedia.
I'm sure it is. I got to find it now. I don't know why, but I have to. I can't really give you
Kobayashi.
Yeah, I'll figure something out. Kobayashi Maru. Maybe if I put Kobe in Maru. Bruce the mailboy's working on it.
Kobayashi Maru.
He's working on it right now.
I got it right here.
Do you already?
Yeah.
How do you... all right, send me a link, will you? And not that we're not in the same studio. And one last question. What's your favorite podcast?
AML.
There you go.
A Modeler's Life with one L.
Exactly. Okay, Bruce, it's time to tally up the scores.
Okay, let me cipher here. The 3, 2 goes into that, 1.5, 2. I'm going to give him a 6.2.
All right. Okay. Well, all right. I've looked at all the scores, and I liked your enthusiasm throughout the event. I thought it was really good. Your answers were well thought out. I mean, you were worried that you didn't study, but that didn't seem to slow you down. You seem to be a natural at it. The Coke and warm Pepsi thing, that one intrigued me. But unfortunately, the fact that Bruce showed up late was a deduction. So I did have you coming in at about 22, but unfortunately when Bruce came in late, he lost 15.5 points. So he came in at a 6.5.
All righty.
There's nothing I can do. It's in the rules.
It's in the big book of rules.
Should have thrown in that full twist at the end.
Yeah, exactly. That's right, Bruce. The big book of rules. Okay, that's it. I guess you can get the hell out of here, and we'll don't let the door hit you on the way out. You can keep the tinfoil helmet.
Oh, cool. Well, that's my collection.
Yeah, I'll even sign it for you if you want. And that's it. I think that's it, Bruce? That's all we need to do.
That's about all we have to do.
Oh, yeah. You know what, Bruce? Give out our email address.
Our email address, Modeler's Life. Modeler's Life, that's Modelers with one L. modeler'slife@gmail.com. That sucked. Let me do it again.
Okay.
Our email address, Modeler's Life. Modelers with one L. modeler'slife@gmail.com.
All right. And we have a Facebook page at facebook.com/modelerslife. We have our website, amodelerslife.com. And Jerry's own particular favorite, we also have the Patreon site at patreon.com/modelerslife. And,
alrighty.
And you're still here, aren't you?
I'm waiting for the shrimp thing to come back.
Oh, it will come back.
yeah, it'll be back.
Yeah. When you least expect it, it will be back.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Exactly.
Okay, that's it. It's Jerry Britton's episode of the Kelly Questions, the round of the Kelly Questions. It's like round. I should know which round it is. I should be prepared. I spoke a couple of weeks ago that I was taking notes. That's really not my thing. In school, I'd pretty much figured out, don't take notes, don't pay attention, then you don't have to worry about the tests. Anyways, I did some research since the beginning of the show, and I found out about the NATO phonetic alphabet, which is, the one that goes Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, India. Did you know there's also a Western Union phonetic alphabet? Adams, Boston, Chicago, Denver, Easy, Frank, George. I think I'm mostly familiar with the NATO one. It sounds the coolest. Oscar, Papa, Bravo. Bruce the Mailboy gave out our email address, modelerslife@gmail.com. That's modelers with one L, like El Dorado, not two L's, like Cadillac. Website is modelerslife.com. And on there, you'll find links to our Facebook page, different places to download the podcast. Still haven't completely figured out Spotify, so I got to work on that. And I guess that's pretty much it. So, might as well head home, shut up the office, jump in the family chariot. Maybe, maybe on the way home, stop and buy a treat for the kids. Little Billy and little Susie. Be nice to the wife. Pet the dog. Say hi to the cats. Drive carefully. See ya.
It's another Lincoln Homer.